guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to keep your white clay white. So I've just opened up a new packet of polymer clay, and so this is as white as it's going to get really, and this is Prima White, and so we want to know how to keep this white. So first thing you want to do is you want to put on gloves. And this is very important because you can get a lot of stuff off of your hands. If you have any oil residue on your hands, even if your hands are a little bit flaky, your skin can get onto the white clay. If you maybe have a little bit of dirt on it, it can all get onto the white clay. So definitely put on gloves, and they need to be new gloves, of course, and that will keep your clay fairly white. Second, you must clean your pasta machine. So with white clay, generally you are going to be running it through your pasta machine. So if you are going to do that, before you run it through, make sure you clean your pasta machine thoroughly. And I show a video on how to clean your own pasta machine in another video, and I will have that linked in the description below, so please do have a look at that so you can see in detail how to clean your pasta machine, because that is also very important. Okay, so that is generally how you would keep your clay clean. Make sure that all of your tools are clean as well, so blades, rollers, anything that you're going to be using, make sure that it is completely clean. And then when you run it through your pasta machine, it should come out nice and clean. And so you can see here, if you run through a piece of white, and you should always run through a test piece of white, you'll see that there's a little bit of smudge there. So what I like to do is I like to clean my pasta machine, and then I like to take a test piece of white, and I like to run it through a few times. And this will pick up any dirt that is left. And just run it along the length of your pasta machine. And so here you can see that I have a few black smudges on one end. So if there's one particular area that is giving me trouble, I will fold and roll a few times in that area until it is nice and clean. And so I like to take a piece of white every single time, or translucent. Translucent will work just fine, and I like to use that to clean my pasta machine. You can use this white over and over again until it just becomes too mucky to actually use it. But if you've cleaned your pasta machine beforehand, it should take quite a while before your white actually gets too mucky to use. So let's see this one. There we are, came out much nicer and cleaner than in the last attempt. We'll roll through again. You can see it's nice and clean. And there, that is how you keep your clay white while you're running it through your pasta machine. Another tip that you need to think about is the clothes that you're wearing. If you're wearing something that drops a lot of fibres, like something very woolly, you won't want to be wearing that while you're working with white clay. Try and wear something that's got short sleeves and that doesn't drop a lot of fibres. Also, make sure that your workspace is clean, and make sure your cat is out of the room, or any pets are out of the room, because otherwise you'll get clay like this. Now, if you wanted to use this clay, which I don't really recommend, if you can get nice clean white clay that is new, that is better. But if you wanted to clean up your clay with all of this lint and stuff, you can take some tape. Oh, my gloves gotten stuck to that. There, just take some tape, scrub that down, and let me just peel that off my glove. That doesn't generally happen when my fingers are there instead of a glove. But anyway, just take your tape and smush that down onto your clay and wipe, and you can see that it cleans up the clay a lot. Again, press it down and lift up, and there you can see it cleans it quite a bit. So this is a nice way to clean your white, but it's not going to leave you with pure white. It's still going to leave you with a few marks and things like that. But it is a great way to clean up some white. So that's the sort of thing that I would use for white that I want to use in techniques where I use alcohol ink and things like that. But if you're wanting to make a project that needs absolutely pure white and you're not going to be covering up with anything, start with pure white, have everything clean, your workspace, your tools, your pasta machine, those all need to be clean. You need to be wearing gloves, you need to be wearing clothes that don't drop fibres, and you need to be running through a test piece of polymer clay through your pasta machine before you put your actual white through, and then you should be able to keep it nice, white and clean. Because since you're wearing gloves, you can now handle this without getting any fibres on it. Your tools are nice and clean, so you can squish it and play around with it without having to worry about it. So keeping white clay white really is about preparing before you actually take out your polymer clay, and that should keep your clay white. So I do hope that that video was helpful to you and that you will now know how to keep your white clay as white as possible. And also, if you aren't able to keep your white clay white and you have something like this where you've got a slight smear over here, use it in other techniques like Mukume Gane. It will even work in canes, it will work in mixed media. The only place where that sort of thing isn't going to work is if you're using white clay on its own and you're trying to make a piece that is completely white and perfectly white. So if you happen to make a mess up, don't worry, clay is still perfectly usable and will appear perfectly white in other techniques like Mukume Gane, surface effects, faux effects and canes. So don't worry about that. And so that's basically it for this tutorial, and so I do hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments below, and if you have tips for how to keep your white clay white, please do share them. That is always very helpful, and I'll respond to those and say thank you, and I'll also answer your questions if you happen to leave them in the comments as soon as I possibly can. And as always, I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.